All right, so we're going to start addressing the pros and cons of building an AGI. Cons. It's a lot of them, but we'll get past that. Abundance of wealth, infinite solutions to any problem. Actually, that should be a good thing. No need to have white or blue collar work because pretty much you don't need people to work anymore. Jobs and resources could be lost, potential risk of systems not needing people, and war and political issues. So pretty much the reason why people have a problem with AGI is because there's going to be abundance of wealth to one or a few people who have a system that works like this. If you have a system that works like this, I don't need to have employees. You ever seen I think BlackRock did this, the financial company? They actually built their systems where they got rid of all the researchers after they had a system that can work on its own without having, it's not an AGI, but it's a really high level AI that was able to predict for them much better than the people were. So they just got rid of half their people or more. I don't know the actual number. Jobs. Like I said before, you may not need people because the actual AGI can program software, write research papers, generate money. It can actually do data entry. A lot of things that people do, this can do it for them. They don't need people to do it. That's why there's a problem with it. Political issues. There's countries who literally, there is an AI war. If you haven't been aware of it, turn on TV, you'll see it. It's not as out there now, but you probably will see it in a couple years more often. And some of the issues you have from AGI to ASI. ASI we haven't talked about much, but ASI is artificial superintelligence. AGI is supposed to be comparable to us. So 86 billion neurons, similarly, so the same cognitive performance that we have. ASI is a system that has far more. And because of that, it has the ability to learn a significant amount of information and be able to retain more of that. So it would take AGI to build ASI. We won't be able to do it because it would actually be higher cognitively performing than we can. That's the assumption. So because Elon Musk has such a problem with the whole AGI, ASI, he has created a company called Neuralink, which allows his team to embed something into the brain, but he's doing this, and it's actually pretty good work, but it's just interesting seeing it out of my mouth. But they have it embedded into the brain, and what it's supposed to do is hook into the actual neurons, and I've seen this multiple times, and it's actually somewhat working. That's the interesting part about that. But he's doing that because he wants to make sure that when ASI comes online, it's so cognitively perform at a level that it would remind us, you know how we see squirrels? That's the term he used, a squirrel sitting in this area. He doesn't want us to feel that we're kind of like that. It's a weird thing, but I have to address it. All right, so another issue is outsmarting us. It can outsmart us if it gets significantly smarter. That's one of the issues of it being a con. Mitigating the risk. Actually, I'm gonna go back to that real quick. The way it can outsmart us. So if you try to black box this thing and keep it contained and not have it connected to anywhere else in the world, the theory is if it gets cognitively smart like a human being, it can try to use your emotions to get you to do things that you don't want to do. Like for example, someone's parent has cancer, for example, right? It says if you let me have access to the internet, I will be able to figure out this for you. What the person's going to do, let them do it. So that's kind of a problem with outsmarting us. So how do we mitigate the risk? We need to keep the system, like I said, in a box. Now, we're nowhere near this yet, but what it would do is once it's able to learn, it has the learning mechanism to learn anything in any domain and able to constantly function continuously, working, having a thought per second. You don't understand the level of knowledge it can grow in that time period, even if it didn't have access to anything else. But that's what we need to do. Also, another thing we need to do to help mitigate the risk is honeypotting, which I just mentioned a moment ago. And also have access to maybe an intranet, which is focused internally and allowed to access that 20 gigs of data to be able to learn what it needs to know. One of the things that Ben Gurtzel is working on is trying to have it work towards how humans perform. So give it physical attributes, such as a physical body, and now it sounds weird saying this, but a physical body, and have the ability to have similar senses so that it's constrained by the same physics that we're constrained by, and that it can only do certain things based on, otherwise if it's just contained in a box in a machine, it will kind of surf the internet as it wants. It can do anything. But if it's constrained as we are physically, it won't be able to do that. All right. Pros. Surprisingly, it's not that many, but I'll talk about that. It will help people make decisions faster, and I mean significantly faster. And it's kind of things that I'm looking at. It's like if it has a similar mental state, it would allow me to make 100x decisions in a way that I didn't do before, because it's evaluated and have a holistic point of view of everything. It might also take out some of the emotion, even though that's a good thing, but we'll explore that. But also what the AGI does is it can help improve healthcare for everybody, make food abundance, because it's going to try to figure out ways to increase food, and be able to survey the land, and help protect against violence.